Apparently, as I just noticed about the update, for some reason, one of the updates that they modified in terms of the replays is that depending on who won the coin toss, that person has the option of choosing to go first or second. But nonetheless, what goes on, Master Duel fans? James here again, and based off from this hand, as you noticed, Season 29 Deck Challenge, the Art of Reptiliannes. Reptiliannes happen to be a series of reptiles, hence the name Reptiliannes. Only Gardner is a water, while every other Reptilianne happens to be a dark monster. Now, to go over each and every single individual archetype of Reptilianne, you have 11 monsters, 5 spells, and 1 trap. Extra deck monster count, you only have 3. So, to go over the spells and traps real fast, since it's the smallest one, we're going to start backwards, and then we will work our way up. Serpent Suppression. Continuous trap. Face up, attack position monsters with no attack your opponent controls cannot be killed by battle with Reptiliannes. Start off fresh with the Reptilianne spells. Reptilianne Spawn. Not once per turn. Banish 1 Reptilianne monster from your graveyard. Generate 2 Reptilianne tokens. Reptile, Earth, level 1. No stats both ways. And of course, the token generating off from Reptilianne Spawn in terms of late game setup, that's usually meant for Synchro into Hydra or Link into Reptilianne Echidna a lot faster. Reptilianne Poison. Not once a turn. If you control a Reptilianne monster, target 1 defense monster your opponent controls, change that target to face-up attack position, and if you do, cut the attack to 0. Reptilianne Ramifications. That one is a hard once per turn on the activation. Send 1 card from hand to the graveyard and activate 2 of the following 3 effects in sequence, depends on your decision. Cut the attack of 1 monster your opponent controls to 0, or Rhoda for a Reptilianne monster of any kind, or Rhoda for any Reptilianne spell/trap from deck to hand that isn't Ramifications. Reptilianne Rage. Equip spell. The equipped monster becomes Reptile. Nice. Extra 800 attack. Also nice. Upon being sent to the graveyard and destroyed, target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, it loses 800 attack. Reptilianne Recoil. Field spell. Target 1 monster you control with no attack and 1 dark reptile monster in your graveyard. Kill that targeted monster on the field, and if you do, special that other monster from your graveyard. So it's essentially what I like to call the reptile version, dark reptile version of Circle of the Fire Kings. If you know, you know. And then if your opponent activates a monster effect, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls with no attack, take control of it, then generate 1 Reptilianne token to your opponent's field. Each effect of recoil once. Now, onwards to the monsters. Reptilianne Gardener, the only Reptilianne monster who is a water monster. Not once a turn, when this card you control gets killed and sent to the graveyard, add a Reptilianne monster from deck to hand, copies of Gardener included. As for everybody else are dark monsters. Reptilianne Servant. Level 1, 100 both ways. Kill this card if there are face-up monsters on the field other than this card. Kill this card when it is targeted by the effect of a spell or trap card. While it's face-up, no one can normal summon a monster while this card is face-up on the field. And as for Garnets that I forgot all about, level 4, Water, no attack, 2000 defense. Just want to get that out the way. Reptilianne Naga, level 1, no stats both ways. Can't be killed by battle. The attack of any monster that battles this card becomes 0 at the end of the battle phase. During your end phase, change this face-up defense card to face-up attack position. Reptilianne Viper, level 2, no stats, tuner. Not once a turn, when this card is normal summon, select and take control of one face-up monster with no attack your opponent controls. Reptilianne Lamia, level 2, no stats, as a tuner. If this card is in your hand and all monsters you control are face-up reptile monsters, minimum of 1, target one face-up monster your opponent controls, change its attack to 0, and if you do, special this card, then take damage equal to that monster's original attack. If this card is sent to the graveyard just because of synchro material, target up to 2 face-up monsters anywhere on the field, change their attack to 0. One effect per turn and only once that turn, so one effect or the other can't do both. Reptilianne Niami, level 2, 200 attack, no defense. One effect of Niami per turn and only once that turn, so once again, one effect or the other can't do both. During the main phase, if you have a reptile monster in your graveyard, as a quick effect, send this from your hand to the graveyard, then target one face-up monster your opponent controls, change its attack to 0. And then, if your opponent controls a monster with no attack, free special Niami from the graveyard. Reptilianne Gorgon, level 3, 1400 both ways. Not once a turn. If this card attacks a monster, after damage calculation, the attack of that monster becomes 0. Also, it cannot change its battle position. Reptilianne Scylla, level 4, 1800 attack, 1200 defense. If this card kills a monster with no attack by battle, special that monster. You can special that monster from the graveyard to your side of the field in face-up defense. The effects of that monster is negated. Literally built-in Goyo Guardian, but no attack. Reptilianne Quaddle, level 4, 1400 attack, 1000 defense, as a tuner. If you control a dark reptile monster, and it doesn't matter what dark reptile monster it is, free special from hand, then if your opponent controls any monsters with no attack, you can special up to an equal number of Reptilianne monsters from your hand. You can use that effect of Quaddle once per turn. And then if this card you control will be used as secret material for a reptile monster specifically, you can actually treat this as a non-tuner. Reptilianne Medusa, level 6, 2200 attack, 800 defense. Not once a turn, send one card from your hand to the graveyard and select one face-up monster your opponent controls, cut the attack to 0, and it cannot change its battle position. Reptilianne Vasky, level 8, 2600 attack, no defense. There can only be one face-up Reptilianne Vasky on the field. And when it comes to this specific condition, once Vasky hits the field, and it doesn't matter who owns a copy of Vasky, the opposing player or the same player cannot have another Vasky on the field. Can't be normal summon set, must be specialed the only way to special by tributing 2 face-up monsters with no attack from anywhere on the field. And the real effect of Vasky is, once per turn, select and destroy one face-up monster your opponent controls. So built-in spot removal, and Vasky can still attack. Onwards to the extra deck. Reptilianne Hydra, level 6, 2100 attack, 1500 defense. One Reptilianne tuner is what it takes to make Hydra, so when it comes to Reptilianne tuners, you have Viper, Lamia, and Quado. So it's Viper, Lamia, and Quado in terms of Reptilianne tuner for Hydra. First chance, Hydra is synchro summoned. Mandatory effect, destroy as many monsters your opponent controls with no attack as possible, and if you do, draw one card for each monster destroyed, and that is not a hard once per turn. Reptilianne Melusine, level 8, 2500 attack, 2800 defense. Random fun fact, by the way, about Reptilianne Melusine. When Reptilianne Melusine first showed up on Master Duel, I opened up one of the packs from Season 2 specifically. She came out, if I can picture this real fast, she happened to came out all glossed out from the master packs, and I had to dismantle that glossed out Melusine because I was only 1 or 2 cards short from an SR to have one of the other decks finished so I could get the deck going. And then 27 seasons later, when I crafted my only 1 copy of Melusine at the time this happens, she returns as a glossed out Reptilianne Melusine. So I thought, you know what, it's possibly a sign to make a Reptilianne deck, and we'll see where this goes. Oh, they even have the update screen about the zoom in feature. That's insane. So yes, Reptilianne Melusine, of course, level 8 synchro that requires a reptile tuner. First chance she was, or if she was synchro summoned using only reptile monsters, she cannot be killed by battle or effects. Once per chain, not once per turn, once per chain, as I call it, the Appaloosa things. When your opponent activates a monster effect outside of the damage step, as a quick effect, target one face-up monster your opponent controls, change its attack to 0. And then if the synchro summon card you control is sent to your graveyard by an opponent's card, if it ever gets outed off from the first effect, add 1 reptile monster from deck to hand. And last but not least, Reptilianne Echidna. When it comes to Reptilianne Echidna, link to middle left, bottom right, only 200 attack. 2 monsters, including a reptile. First chance she gets Link summoned, target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, cut the attack to 0. During your main phase, if your opponent controls a monster with no attack, add reptile monsters with different names from deck to hand up to the number of monsters your opponent controls with no attack. Also, you cannot special monsters from the extra deck except reptiles. And is that every cover card in terms of Reptilianne stuff? Yes, it is. And obviously, according to the restriction of Reptilianne Echidna, let's just say the whole entire restriction doesn't matter at the slightest, because the whole entire extra deck is literally nothing but reptiles. So, to go over the honorary reptiles, King of the Pharaoh Imps, who is also a dark reptile monster, just so that the synergy of Quaddle is a thing. Rank 4, 2300 attack, 2000 defense. Soft once per turn as a generic 4. Detach 1, get a reptile from deck to hand, doesn't matter what level. Old Entity Hastor. Level 4 Wind Reptile. For some reason, that Hastor is a reptile. 2300 attack, 1000 defense. As a generic level 4 synchro. If this card is sent from the monster zone to the graveyard, target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, hook it up as an equipped card from the graveyard. While being equipped, that monster cannot attack. Also, its effects are negated. And upon leaving the field while equipped, that isn't going back to the deck, take control of the equipped monster that it was supposedly equipped to. And then, other than that, there you go. Let's get the show on the road. Set Cyber Emergency for Cyber Dragon. Cyber Dragon Core, normal, getting another emergency. And pass. On draw, Cyclone. What do we hit? Woo! Evenly matched. Ramifications, discard Econ, getting Skyla, cut the attack to 0. Skyla, normal summon. Over Core, Skyla, bring back Core, and 1 set. Cyber Emergency for Cyber Dragon. Special, normal, the Cyber Dark Chimera, discard the Rev System. Forbidden Chalice to negate the Chimera. 1 set. Cyber Dragon over Skyla. Core has 1500 defense, so a little life point loss there. Reptilianne Spawn. Generate the 2. Whoa! Quite the summoning animation. Echidna, make Cyber Dragon 0. Ramifications, discard the Change of Heart, recoil, and make the Chimera 0. Ah yes, Echidna's Reptile Army. The honorary main deck reptiles. Nunu, the Ogdoadic Remnant. Level 4, light reptile, no stats. Each effect once. Send this card from your hand to the graveyard, send one dark reptile monster from your deck to the graveyard. Generally, the idea about Nunu is that the only valid dark reptile monster to toss out in this situation, main deck wise, would be Niami. And it makes it so that any given time where if I see my opponent's monster that has no attack, Niami can just extend and then get the link plays or synchro climb going with the help of some of the tuners. Nunu, toss out Niami, Masked Chameleon, summon Niami special, synchro into Reptilianne Melusine. Now, when it comes to the Melusine, one of the materials is not a reptile. So as a result, the glossed out Melusine can be killed by battle or card effects. And if for some reason, if she were to be destroyed and sent to the graveyard because of an opponent's card, she lets me search literally any reptile from deck to hand, doesn't matter what level. Melusine over Chimera, and evenly match, get rid of Echidna so that the contact fuse is dead. Top deck Regulus, hook it up with Cyber Dragon Core, take Cyber Dragon, generate token, tribute the token for Cyber Dragon. And realistically, about that last card in hand, I never saw that one coming, to be honest. Melusine. Almost forgot to do a review with Masked Chameleon the first time when I had Nunu in the hand. Excuse me, you guys. When it comes to learning new decks, I'm just not used to it. So, Masked Chameleon cannot be normal summoned if you control a level 5 or higher monster. To get around that thing, set summon it. But don't ever do that. As a level 4 Earth Reptile Tuner, the turn you use Masked Chameleon's effect, you cannot special summon any other monsters except from the extra deck. The case is, upon normal summon, target one monster with no defense in your graveyard, special it out in face of defense. Its effects are negated. Cyber Dragon over its copy. Ah, yes. Another reptile monster to go over. Kage Tokage. Level 4, Dark Reptile. 1100 attack, 1500 defense. Cannot be used as secret material. To get around that thing, you have XZ summons, Link summons. Can't be normal summon set, must first be specialed off from its own effect. When you normal summon a level 4 monster, free special this card from your hand. Nunu, normal Masked Chameleon, Kage Tokage. Now, both reptiles and only reptiles were used as synchro material, makes it so that this copy of Melusine cannot be killed by battle or card effects. Melusine over Cyber Dragon and pass. Normal to Ash, Regulus over Melusine, not dying by battle. Ah, yes. Another honorary reptile support card. Viper's Rebirth. If all monsters in your graveyard are reptile and nothing but reptile, target one non-tuner in your graveyard, special it out. But it gets killed during the end phase of this turn. So basically, if you don't do anything to that resurrectable reptile, that monster gets destroyed. And if you guys noticed from the extra deck, no Dark Charmer or Wee Witch's Apprentice. And despite the dark support monsters, they are not in the extra deck only because I'm playing Viper's Rebirth specifically. And do we have any reptile non-tuners? Niami, Melazine. Okay, so it's just those two. Niami. Oh, if your opponent controls a monster with no attack, opponent completely screwed himself over by normal summoning that Ash Blossom. So Niami comes back. 2 reptiles for Echidna. Echidna, make Regulus 0. Regulus, send itself to negate it. Viper's Rebirth for the glossed out Melazine. Melazine over Ash. And the glossed out Lethal. So guys, that's gonna do it on Season 29 Deck Challenge. It is official. Welcome to the world of Reptiliannes. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And if you haven't already, smash the notification bell to keep yourself constantly updated. And we'll catch you guys next time.